Today we will start with the second chapter of your NCERT book, class 9th, with the chapter named as Constitutional Design, which is the most important chapter of your textbook. So let's discuss or talk about constitution. So we'll begin basically with that why there was a need of constitution. So here in the book there is a term which is given, that is apartheid. So let's begin with what is apartheid. Apartheid is a system of racial discrimination unique to South Africa imposed by white Europeans. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the trading companies from Europe occupied it with arms and force and became the local rulers. The system of apartheid divided the people and labeled them on the basis of their skin color. The white rulers treated all non whites as inferiors. The non whites did not have voting rights and were forbidden from living in white areas. The blacks, colored, and Indians fought against the apartheid system from 1950. The African National Congress, also known as ANC, was the umbrella organization that led the struggle against the policy of segregation. Nelson Mandela, you might be knowing about him. He was one of the leaders amongst the 8th century who were tried for treason by white South African government. They were sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964 for daring to oppose the apartheid regime in the country. Then the second topic is giving rise to new constitution. As the protests and struggles against apartheid increased, the blacks could no longer be kept under the rule of the government through repression. The white regime changed its policy. Discriminatory laws were repealed. Ban on political parties and restrictions on the media were lifted. Nelson Mandela was then released after 28 years in the Robben Island prison, and the apartheid government came to an end on the midnight of 26 April 1994, paving way for the formation of multiracial government. Following the emergence of the new democratic South Africa, the party that ruled through oppression and brutal killings and the party that led the freedom struggle sat together to draw up a common constitution. This constitution gave to its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. Together, they decided that in search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded. Then the next topic is, why do we need a constitution? Take the example of South Africa to see why we need the constitution and what constitution do. The oppressor and oppressed were planning to live together as equals in the new democracy. Each section wanted to safeguard their interests and wanted substantial social and economical rights. Through negotiations, both parties came to a compromise. The whites agreed to the principle of majority rule and that of one person, one vote. They also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and the workers. The blacks agreed that the majority rule would not be absolute and that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. How was this compromise to be implemented? The only way to build and maintain trust in such a situation was to write down some rules of the game that everyone would follow by. These supreme rules that no government would be able to ignore are called constitution. Every country has a diverse group of people. All over the world, people have differences of opinions and interests. The Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in the territory and also the relationship between the people and the government. Find what constitution do below. First, it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. Second, it specifies how the government will be constituted. Third, it lays down limits on the power of the government and tells the rights of the citizens. Fourth, it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. All the countries that have constitutions are not necessarily democratic, but all the countries that are democratic will have the constitutions. Then let's come to the next topic, making of the Indian Constitution. India's constitution was drawn up under very difficult circumstances. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences and was a traumatic experience for the people of India and Pakistan. The British had left it to the rulers of princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. The merger of these princely states was a difficult and uncertain task. When the constitution was being written, the future of the country did not look as secure as it does today. Then, the path to the constitution. One of the major advantages for the makers of India's constitution was that it was about what a democratic India should look like had already evolved during the freedom struggle in that period. In 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders drafted a constitution for India, and in 1931, the resolution at the Karachi session of Indian National Congress dwelt on how independent India's constitution should look like. Both these documents included features such as universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and protecting the rights of minorities in the Constitution of Independent India. These basic values were accepted by all the leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate on the Constitution. That is why the Indian Constitution adopted many institutional details and procedures from colonial laws like the Government of India Act 1935. Many of our leaders were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain, and the Bill of Rights in US. Then the next topic is the Constituent Assembly. The drafting of the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946, and its first meeting was held in December 1946. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan, and the Constituent Assembly also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the institution Constitution had 299 members. It adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on January 26, 1950. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26 as Republic Day every year. Now, why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 6 decades ago? First, it does not reflect the views of its member alone. Second, for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. Third, finally, the manner in which Constituent Assembly worked gives it power to the Constitution. It worked in a systematic, open and concessional manner. Firstly, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. Every document was presented, and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. Then the next topic is guiding values of Indian Constitution. First, understand the overall philosophy of what our Constitution is all about. Read the views of some of our major leaders on our Constitution and read what Constitution says about its own philosophy. This is what the preamble to the Constitution does. The dream and the promise. First one is the dream and the promise. There were many members who followed the vision of Mahatma Gandhi. The dream of an India that has eliminated inequality was shared by Dr. Ambedkar, who played a key role in making of the Constitution, but his vision of removing inequalities from India was different from Gandhi ji. Then another philosophy of the Constitution. Values that inspired and guided the freedom struggle and were in turn nurtured by it formed the foundation for India's democracy. Given below are the values embedded in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. First is we the people of India. The Constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people through their representatives and not handed down to them by a king or any outside powers. Second is sovereign. People have the supreme right to make decisions on internal as well as external matters. Third is socialist. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. Secular. Citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion. Next is democratic. A form of government where people enjoy equal political rights. The government is run according to some basic rules. Next is republic. The head of the state is an elected person and not an hereditary position. Then is justice. Citizens cannot be discriminated against on the grounds of caste, religion, and gender. Next is liberty, which means there are no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens in what they think, how they wish to express their thoughts, and the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action. Next is all are equal before the law. That means equality. The traditional social inequalities have to be ended. The government should ensure equal opportunity for all. And the last one is fraternity. All of us should behave as if we are the members of the same family. No one should treat a fellow citizen as inferior. Then the next topic and the last one is institutional design. A constitution is not merely a statement of values and philosophy. It is mainly about embodying these values into institutional arrangements. It is a very long and detailed document. Therefore, it needs to be amended quite regularly to keep it updated. Provisions are made to incorporate changes known as constitutional amendments from time to time. Like any constitution, the Indian Constitution also lays down a procedure for choosing persons to govern their country. It defines who will have much power to make which decisions and also put the limits to what the government can do by providing some rights to the citizen that cannot be violated. Thank you.